John Kerry who looks like an oak tree, is a anti-free speech sicko. I'm John Mike Keene, and we got video of him. We caught him. First, censorship John Kerry explaining how free speech stands in the way of consensus around the world. WEF's preferred narrative describes how governments will need to stamp out voices that dissent. Here we go.
And I think the dislike of and anguish over social media is just growing and growing and growing.
He's really upset about social media because the government can't control the voices of we the people.
And it's part of our problem, particularly in democracies, in terms of building consensus around any issue. It's really hard to govern today.
He thinks governing is to force consensus by the government on the people, and he's mourning that social media makes it hard.
You can't, there's no, the referees we used to have to determine what's a fact and what isn't a fact are kind of, been eviscerated to a certain degree.
That's a victory for our side, that the old gatekeepers can't control information.
And people go and that people self-select where they go for their news or for their information.
He's upset that you can freely go where you want. He's not talking about that people are going to MSNBC. He means that people are going to Tucker Carlson or going to alternatives. That's what freaks him out. It's never that people are going to leftist sources or, how much of the right wing point of view are you getting from a university or from Hollywood movies? He's not mourning that. He's upset that we're going on YouTube and you're listening to John Mike Keene.
And then you just get into a vicious cycle. So it's really, really hard, much harder to build consensus today than at any time in the 45, 50 years I've been involved in this.
This sounds like a victory to me on my side. This is good that John Kerry's having a hard time forcing it down your throat.
And there's a lot of discussion now about how you curb those entities in order to guarantee that you're going to have, some accountability on facts, et cetera. But look, if people go to only one source and the source they go to is sick and, has an agenda and they're putting out disinformation, our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just, hammer it out of existence. So
he seems bummed we have a First Amendment right. He wants to hammer it out of existence. Voices, remember who they call misinformation and people who they consider sick are people who disagree with the World Economic Forum agenda.
What we need is to win the ground, win the right to govern by hopefully having, winning enough votes that you're free to be able to implement change.
He's talking about a force down through the votes to force his change on you. That's their only hope. That's why you cannot vote for Democrats. Do not vote for Kamala Harris. They are the pro-censorship party. They're running on censorship. And 40% of America are going for Kamala, and they're voting for government censorship, top down. They will throw those of us in dissent into prison.
Now, obviously, there are some people in our country who are prepared to implement change in other ways.
Well, let's just hope that we can still debate these things freely on social media. That's what we're advocating for. I'm John Mike Keene.